Hello friends, welcome back to Discussion Movies. Today I will show you an American science fiction mystery drama television series titled Under the Dome. Friends, please subscribe the channel and enjoy the movie story. Watch out and take care. Suddenly, the town is fiercely trembled. In the streets, the wind was blustering. Everyone initially believed it to be an earthquake. Then a powerful force slammed into the ground. Dale was startled right away. He saw a split in the cow in front of him. Was he delusional? It wasn't until he felt the cow's blood that he realized it was real. He then extended a hand in front of himself. He also sensed an electric current as he touched the wall of air. Additionally divided in two was the little home on the side. A palm mark of bright red was stuck in the air. Joe, a passerby, was interested. He also received an electrical shock when he touched the barrier. The necks of even the crows in the sky were broken. He apparently underestimated the height of the air wall. After that, a plane flew over. It promptly exploded as it struck the wall. Fortunately, Dale was able to spare Joe's life. Joe was still waiting to get hit in the face, observing the plane's black smoke coming from the distance. Nobody was aware of what had occurred. There were no internet signals at all. A woman was operating a vehicle in a tiny town's roadway. Suddenly, a large vehicle crossed the road. After that, when it mattered most, the female driver really applied the brakes. They ultimately prevented a tragedy. Additionally, the truck's head was struck by the car's enormous impact. When they saw it, they were horrified. The young woman was immediately in awe. On the other hand, a fire truck arrived in the town after spotting the collision. Dale was quick to act when he spotted the problem. But everything was moving quickly. The firefighters only just managed to stop the automobile in time. The careless motorist was ready to strike Dale in the face. But a wall of air stopped him. Because both voices were muted by the barrier, Dale could only speak to people via text. When the town police arrived, they were baffled. The air wall was referred to as dome. The town suffered a large number of casualties. The dome even divided those who were unlucky in half. As soon as numerous soldiers and journalists from the outside came, the military promptly cordoned off the area. With instruments, a number of scientists scanned the dome. And after that tested it with a water spray. Following several procedures, the air wall was impermeable to the water as well. It is impervious to caustic liquid as well. People became aware that the air wall was enclosing the town. The local sheriff was surveying the area's borders. He reached out to touch it out of curiosity. His chest immediately felt a little uneasy. His pacemaker suddenly detonated. He immediately ran out of breath as a result. The town was on edge following this incident. A hole-digging attempt under the dome was thwarted by nearby residents. According to the sheriff's experience, they discovered that the device would directly detonate if it came in contact with the dome. Since we are unable to excavate right now, let's try a bomb shelter that is 100 meters below ground. I had no idea that the dome was still there. It appears that this object is not just extremely high but also beyond comprehension. The flashlight struck the dome and instantly blew up. Someone had gone insane by this point. In a fit of rage, he fired 2 shots towards the dome, but both shots missed. His neighboring co-worker passed away as a result of this. 2. There was a palpable wall of air that is invisible but makes everyone feel nervous. It isolated the entire community from the outside world. For 6 days, people survived in this manner. The town's food and water supplies were exhausted. Dale believed he could get water by going to the lake. Instead, at the lake, he noticed many of white bellies. After taking a sample, they returned. It was discovered that water might catch fire. It was discovered that dome had broken the pipe, causing the lake to receive chemical runoff. The outside military began to depart in the meantime. The populace believed that the authorities outside had forsaken them. Instantaneously, things got out of hand. People entered the supermarket without hesitation, taking what was still left of the food and water. In the struggle for supplies, the former neighbors also turned on one another. The town's police deployed tear gas in a last-ditch effort to halt them, but it was ineffective. She had no option but to draw her weapon. Fortunately, she discharged the gun just before rain began to fall. The angry crowd was calmed by the rain. Dome did not, however, vanish. This area is completely different from the outside world. The dome appears to have its own unique microclimate. Even at night, they continue to store water. The soldiers brought everyone's distant relatives in at morning. because the sounds on either side were inaudible. We can only express ourselves through words or gestures. It appeared to be a gathering of relatives and friends. But Dale detected a threat. To communicate with the outside world, he discovered a woman who could talk lips. He learns from the military. To stop Dome from spreading fear over the outer world. To demolish the dome, the military made the decision to employ a nuclear bomb. There will be an evacuation of every person from the nearby cities. It will be up to fate as to whether or not those inside will survive. Everyone had to enter the bomb shelter after hearing this news to seek safety from the approaching death, yet they appeared to be free of dread at this point. They only felt sorrow for their families, that is all. A nuclear weapon was dropped from a great height. The dome was struck and severely detonated. The outcome, however, exceeded everyone's expectations. They didn't even hear a sound, and the dome was unharmed. They weren't sure whether to feel grateful or depressed. With such a powerful dome, they had little chance of ever escaping. The explosion had entirely demolished the city outside. Nothing except rubble could be seen outdoors as far as the eye could see. Everyone was once more in despair after this occurrence. But quickly, things started to go south. In the woods, Joe and Angie had no idea what they were doing. Angie reached over an elevated haystack they had unintentionally discovered, but she was shocked right back. They simply pulled the weeds without hesitation. They then washed it with water. In front of them, a little dome materialized. There was a black egg inside as well, and Angie believed it was in charge of the dome of the town. She addressed the black egg, asking, "Hello, who are you talking to?" After receiving no response, they joined their hands on the top, and a strange scene occurred in which Angie saw her mother standing in front of her. When they separated their hands, the mother had vanished. Angie thought this might be a warning, so she immediately returned home. Indeed, there was a problem. A heart attack struck her mother. Due to the town's inadequate medical facilities, her mother's death didn't take place for very long. Anguished, Angie came to Dome. She often inquired about his plans. The black egg in the woods genuinely responded at that very instant. The following day, Little Dome arrived in their home storage room. 3. A very peculiar small black egg. At the same time, 3 individuals touched it. It suddenly released a brilliant blue light, and the 4th empty palm print appeared. Then they discovered a new small companion. It is now wonderful. Like a fingerprint lock, Little Dome. As soon as the 4th palm was positioned on it, the pink light inside accumulated swiftly. The light abruptly went out. Immediately after, the tiny black egg began to emit a large number of tiny stars, but despite their beauty, they offered no solutions to the issues. The following morning, a butterfly emerged from the Little Dome. When it hit the dome, black streaks emerged as it attempted to get through the barrier. They were unable to let it out. The butterfly was tortured for a while but made no comment. Just suddenly, the outside of the dome likewise turned dark. The entire dome was progressively coated in black spots. Fear quickly spread among people. The atmosphere was stifling and uncomfortable, causing the room's temperature to plummet to 0. The entire town was enveloped in darkness in the span of a single eye blink. Maybe the true end had arrived. To pray, everyone gathered inside the church. They believed that they needed to remove the butterfly. 4 palm prints were now visible coming out of the little, black dome. Without really thinking about it, everyone pressed their palms together. The dome first released a dazzling white light. Then, he collapsed. The butterfly was tortured for some time without saying anything. The outside of the dome also changed abruptly to darkness. Spots of darkness gradually covered the entire dome. Fear spread among everyone quite rapidly. The atmosphere was oppressive and uncomfortable, and the temperature in the room dropped below 0. In the blink of an eye, the entire town was plunged into darkness. Perhaps this really was the end. Everyone gathered inside the church to pray. They thought they had to get rid of the butterfly. At this point, 4 palm prints could be seen emerging from the little, black dome. Everyone pressed their palms together without actually giving it much thought. A brilliant white light was originally released by the dome. Then he passed out. Fortunately, the butterfly within began to move, but it only took 3 seconds for everyone to smile. The black egg seemed off. It swayed and glowed brightly as if it were about to burst. A bomb bunker was going to blow up. Everyone was prepared to flee, but Dale's girlfriend took it up because she had no fear of dying. Unexpectedly, the earthquake actually ceased, even though she was surrounded by awoken butterflies. This was because she had repeatedly touched the tiny dome, which did not reveal any helpful information. They returned to the original woods with the black egg, and as anticipated. Here, everyone could see a picture of Angie's mother, but she claimed to be an alien. She adopted her family features in order to communicate. Their humanity is put to the test by the local dome. Simply submerge the black egg in the water. The community dome will go up. Therefore, Dale's girlfriend threw it into the lake's center. After that moment, the black egg's pink stars exploded out of the sea. They gradually ascent with the light, like shooting stars leaving the sky. Everyone in the community witnessed this supernatural occurrence. They finally gathered in front of the dome. The night's gloom turned to light. However, the dome remained in place. Is this an intergalactic joke? What sort of plot are the aliens concealing? What further mysteries does the dome hold? Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more movies like this. Thanks for watching. Please comment. See you next time.